Hey, what is going on, you guys? It is Mr. No Sleep here from Old School RuneScape, and welcome to a brand new loot video for you all today. So today I bring you all a non-monster related loot video. This is none other than loot from 10,000 caskets. First things first, these caskets are not related to clue scrolls in any way. These are actually tradable caskets that you can get from the Grand Exchange or just by trading other players in game in order to purchase them in bulk. The reason that you would purchase these from other players in bulk is because you can only buy a limit of about 50 every 6 hours in the Grand Exchange, so that is optional on how you want to buy them. So for this video, I did spend about 1.2k on every single casket individually, and therefore the start amount for this video was exactly 12 mil, since we did have just about 10,000 caskets overall. The goal for this video was to see if we would profit or lose money by opening every single one of them, and although I did want to upload loot from 10,000 Christmas crackers before this video, I did have to delay that video for numerous reasons right now, so I figured I would just upload this in the meantime. So with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I'm feeling much better. Finally got rid of the flu. So yeah, let's get into it. So for these 10,000 caskets, about half of them were purchased in the Grand Exchange using my main account as well as 3 other accounts that all have membership. Took about 6 to 7 days to obtain about 5,000, and then I did need obviously another 5,000 for this video. So what I did was, while I was live streaming, I would basically just ask anyone who is available to buy them for me, and you know, they would wait a few days and then come trade me a few days later, and then they would in return give me a lot more than just 50. So thanks to anyone who did provide some caskets for this vid. I did buy most of them for 1.2k each from these people as well, so the cost remained at 12 mil overall. And also a fun fact, by the time that I was done purchasing the last couple thousand, the GE price managed to raise all the way up to 3k. So I think because of using multiple people's assistance, we did actually raise the demand for these low tier caskets and managed to significantly change the price at the very end of it. So I might have actually costed people some money, but they assured me that it was okay. They were happy to assist with the video. Normally though, if you were to just, you know, slowly purchase 10,000 in the Grand Exchange, I don't think the price would change significantly. I just think that so many people were buying so many at one time, that probably just had an effect on the price overall. So as I was recording this video today and voice-overing it, I did notice that the price did go back down to 1.2k, so I'm assuming that people somehow do obtain a lot of these caskets on a daily basis due to all the monsters that can be killed in RuneScape that drop them. And there are also other ways to obtain these low tier caskets, which I will get into in a little bit, but for now let's talk just a little bit about the monsters that do give you them in the game. So first we have the Daganths at Waterbirth Island, the Barrel from the L.E.D caves, giant sea snakes, king sand crabs, ammonite crabs, Daganths, rock crabs, sand crabs, swamp crabs, giant rock crabs, giant lobsters, river trolls, mummies, and of course the sea snake hatchling as well as the sea snake younglings. You can also obtain these caskets from the NPC Quizmaster if you are going to be choosing the mystery box rather than the 1,000 coin reward. For any Iron Men who may still do that random event, I don't think mains do too many randoms. Then if you open a mystery box, I do believe you can receive a casket from that as well. And out of all of those methods of how caskets can be brought into the game, I am assuming that most caskets that currently come into the game on a weekly basis are from the list of crabs mentioned above. I see a lot of people training at all sorts of different crabs, especially lower levels, and that could potentially bring a lot of these caskets into the game since the drop rate is only 1 in 128, and these crabs can be killed pretty fast as well as in mass quantities at one time. Crabs are basically the way that you would train on a lower level account before you start Nightmare Zone, before you start Slayer. So with all these people around RuneScape training, it is really no surprise to see that these 10,000 caskets were able to be purchased so easily with no delay, and other than the limit, you know, I'm pretty sure that they would have all bought at the same time. Now, to anyone who is interested in obtaining these caskets, whether you are an Iron Man or just a skiller, there's a way for you to as well. The last method for obtaining these low tier caskets would be big net fishing. With a drop rate of 1 in 200, I remember as a kid doing some Catherby big net fishing and obtaining a few caskets over time, and from what I remember, I would almost always receive gems from them. And as you've seen by now, the drops from these caskets really haven't changed too much over the years. They're not exactly the most impressive. Like I said before, none of these drops relate to clue scrolls, neither do the caskets in general. I would say they heavily revolve around gems and coins, the true definition of treasure, which kind of makes sense. Sapphires, emeralds, rubies, and of course diamonds, all of these uncut gems, shout out to the Adam Sandler movie, just saw it a few days ago, can be found through the caskets. caskets. The rate of the Sapphire's 1 in 4, the Emerald's 1 in 7.7, the Ruby's 1 in 17, and the Diamond is the rarest at 1 in 64. The most expensive gem is obviously the Diamond, which has a price range of anywhere from 2.8 to 3K on a good day, and the lowest amount being the Sapphire, which is just around 500 GP. There's 6 different rolls for the amount of coins that you can get, highest quantity being the 640 GP and the lowest one being 20 GP. As it goes for the extra uncommon drops, those would be the Cosmic Talismans, that's 1 in 16, and of course the main value drops being the Tooth and the Loop Key, which both happen to be 1 in 128. As mentioned, when I was a kid, I did see these caskets quite often while doing big net fishing. They were released into the game February 27th, 2002. I was just 4 years old. I'm sure many of us were pretty young back in those days, so it's quite a long time ago. They are stackable in the bank, but they're not stackable in your inventory. And another fun fact is the high alch value is around 30 GP, and the weight is around 5 kg per casket. One thing I'm not sure of is if I was to wear a Ring of Wealth while opening these, if that would have increased my odds of receiving anything good while opening. And I didn't see any mention of that in the old school RuneScape wiki, which I do heavily rely on for these loot videos. So if you actually know if wearing a Ring of Wealth would make these drops more profitable, feel free to let me know in the comments below. Maybe I can do another loot from 10K with a Ring of Wealth, or maybe even a loot from 100K, because honestly, this didn't take too long at all to do. And comparing them with a Ring of Wealth would maybe make for a worthwhile upload, if the price is right. Now, there is also one other method for obtaining these caskets, but I didn't think it was really worth mentioning, but I did see it in the wiki, so why not? There is a reward from allocating workers to fishing and managing miscellanea. I think what that means is your workers from miscellanea, if you're building a kingdom, if you're trying to collect from a kingdom, they would be fishing for you, and I guess sometimes they would catch these caskets, since some of them might be using a big net. I don't think many people use their kingdom to gather fish, but it is something to keep in mind. If none of the methods above sounded good enough to you, maybe you can try that out. Now, when I was opening all these caskets, it really didn't take too long. I was doing them at an average rate of around 2,500 to 3,000 an hour, just depending on how AFK I was. So this video didn't take any longer than 3 to 4 hours to actually make. The only thing that took long in this video was actually to obtain all these caskets rather than opening them. Should also do a drinking game. Anytime you hear the word casket throughout this video, take a shot. I did decide to open all of them at the Fishing Guild. It is where I start a lot of my loot videos as well as end a lot of my loot videos. I did this in a PvP world, so I had some privacy, so don't mind the skull at the bottom right of the screen. And all this video was mainly just a lot of left clicking. As I mentioned before, they are stackable in the bank, and you can pretty much withdraw 28 at a time, which means you can open all 28 because they fit perfectly in the inventory. And if they ever do have an update to where they would be stacked in the inventory, then all the gem drops would have to be noted, and I'm sure that would speed up the already super fast process of opening them up in general. I could have used the gem bag for this video as well, but I really didn't see the need to, seeing as I would have to just bank again for the caskets anyway. The main thing that I wanted to do this video for was obviously just to see how much would I lose, how much would I make, potentially make anyway. And obviously the biggest part of the potential profit would be held with the amount of loops and tooth keys that I would see from all 10,000. But the price of the keys though being so low these days, as well as the 1 in 128 drop rate, pretty much knew coming into this that I wasn't going to profit at all from this video. But maybe if those keys ever go up in price and the price of the casket remains the same, this could be a moneymaker in the far future. It is, up for debate, so we will see as the years go on if these caskets ever do change. Nevertheless, I do consider this loot series to cover every piece of content in RuneScape, whether it be a monster, a casket, a chest, a drawer, even a minigame, whatever it is, I will get to it one day. But overall, I do hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know it was a pretty strange one, and the drop table is so small there isn't too much variety, but I still think 10,000 was worth uploading. I certainly don't think any number below 10K would be worth making into a video. And this one was pretty fast, not a lot of effort. I think the editing probably took longer than the actual video itself. It was kind of difficult to find enough things to say about a casket for 10 minutes, you know what I mean? But anyway, here we are, loot from 10,000 complete. I did rock the heavy caskets. I figured it would be a good fit for this video, so yeah, it was a pretty fast one. Let's go ahead and get into the price check, see how many coins, how many gems, talismans, and of course keys we did end up with, and let's see just how much we made or just how much we lost. Alright, so 10,000 caskets, we almost came out with 1 million GP, but we did fall short at just about 982k. Your RNG for the gems as well as the talismans and the keys might be different from mine, line, but this should be pretty relatable, I imagine. 12 mil was spent. Now it is the moment of truth to see what we are going to end up with. So just in the gems, it looks like we are just about 3.4 mil. Talismans brings us up to 4, and with all of the keys as well as the GP, we are at 6.5 mil, rounded up from 10,000 caskets, which means we did fall short of our goal to profit at around 12 to 13 mil. We did go ahead and sell everything to get the overall 100% accurate number. I was surprised to see the Cosmic Talisman sell right away. I didn't know who was buying those. Maybe rune crafting bots, maybe someone who's having a talisman collection. I'm really not too sure. But the overall number is 6,519,000, which means we did lose money. But, you know, it could have been worse. We only lost just about, I would say with what I paid, probably like 6 mil. You want to be 100% accurate, it was more like 5.5 mil. But either way, we didn't make any money. But at least now you guys know of the drops you can expect from these low tier caskets. And with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I will see you guys tomorrow with either loot from 3,000 green dragons or loot from 10,000 Christmas crackers. Either way, I assure you both videos are awesome. So yeah, January you will see a ton of videos. Got a lot stockpiled for you all. Been off a week now, so I made up for a lot of that with videos. And yeah, I'll see you guys later on. Thank you very much for your time today. Until next time, Mr. No Sleep out.